Well, hello y'all. We're getting ready to cook us some dinner. First of all, I've got my stuff pre-chopped so you don't have to wait. I've got about a half a cup of diced onions that I'm going to put in here. Now you can use one small or medium sized white onion. I already had a red onion, so I'm going to use my red onion up. You can put in maybe, well, I'm not going to put that in yet because I want it, your garlic burns real easy, so I'm not going to add that until I cook my onion just a little bit. And I see some of my pieces of onion I didn't get cut up quite small enough. But you need, my recipe calls for 4 cups of shredded cabbage. I've got about 3 cups here, and I'm going with that because I don't need 4. I'm cutting it down just a tiny bit because I'm not going to use a whole 1.5 pounds of corned beef either. I'm substituting my corned beef in this recipe for canned corned beef, y'all. And I think it's going to be just as good. But this calls for about 5 to 6 crushed cloves of garlic. So I'm going to put in about I don't know, maybe 2 teaspoons of garlic in there. I think that'll be enough. Put a little bit of pepper, black pepper. I'm going to salt it just a tiny bit. Not much because, you know, hey, nobody likes their blood pressure to go up. So a lot of people don't want to use a lot of salt. I'm going to add in my 3 cups. Recipe is 4 cups, but I'm cutting mine down. 3 cups is a plenty of shredded green cabbage. I hope my pan is big enough. I'm going to go ahead and stir in some of those onions to get them off of the bottom so my onions don't burn. Get me some butter or margarine. Let's see, I've got sticks of butter in here somewhere. This is from my other pan. We're going to be using 2 frying pans in this dish. We're just going to put a tad of butter in there. I'm not even going to turn it on yet because I'm not ready to do that part of it. But you'll need 4 of the flour tortillas, 10-inch ones. I could only find like 12-inch ones, so guess what I did? I took the scissors and I trimmed around the edges, and I got them down to 10 inches, or basically 10 inches. This is going to be a meal for several meals for me, y'all. And you just want this cabbage to cook down a tiny bit till it's caramelized. Everything's sticking. Turn it up on high, maybe that'll work. You'll also need Swiss cheese. And I just got a package of sliced. You can have shredded Swiss cheese or sliced. All I found was sliced. But while that's going, I'm going to make some sauce. I just need a little bit of mayo. I'm not making a whole bunch of this sauce because I don't want a bunch of sauce. I'm going to put in about a 1/4 cup of sour cream. I'm going to clean my spoon on because I don't want to contaminate my sour cream with mayo. But I'm just going to guess at it. About a 1/4 cup of sour cream in there. Now, you can make this with a 1/2 cup or a cup of drained sauerkraut. I don't have sauerkraut right now, so I'm not putting sauerkraut in mine. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of Dijon mustard. And you know, Dijon mustard is kind of spicy. Well, that's about 1.5 tablespoons. And you know what? I don't know what it is with this Dijon mustard. It keeps squirting out even after you don't want it to come out anymore. We're going to add a little bit of, if you got fresh parsley, use it. I don't have fresh, so I'm putting in dried parsley. I'm also going to put in about 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. That's taking the place of my sauerkraut. And then I'm going to proceed to mix it up good. Probably need just a little bit more parsley in there. See if I can get a smaller spoon. Get that taste. That's good right there. Does need to be mixed up a little bit more though. And probably just a little bit more Dijon in there. You know, I'm not measuring stuff, I'm just season it to my liking. That's good right there. Oh, y'all, I'm burning my... I'm going to have to transfer this to another pan because I'm about to burn it up. And I don't want the burnt part, I just want my good cabbage on top. That's what I get for trying to do two things at one time for the video. It's not a good idea to do that very much, you know? If I can figure out a way to keep that up there. Well, it's good. Now what we're going to do, turn the heat down for sure because I don't want to burn that up anymore. We're going to open our can of corned beef. If I can get this key on here correctly. See which way it's supposed to go. There. This way, not the other way. Now, if you had leftover corned beef from Patty's Day still, or if it was during St. Patty's Day and you had the roast beef, you could do this. Or corned beef, not roast beef. You could do this with that. Now, all we're going to do is dump our corned beef right in here with our cabbage. Until we get it all hot. And get this roast beef, corned beef. Why do I call it roast beef? I keep calling it roast beef. But this is one of my shortcuts. So you don't have to have a whole roast beef or corned beef. And we're just going to kind of slightly mix this up with our cabbage. Until it's all hot. I mean, it's okay to leave chunks of meat, you know, chunks of the corned beef. That's perfectly fine. Because if you had sliced corned beef, you'd be slicing it in like 1/2 inches or 1/4 inch chunks. But this will work just like this. Have y'all even guessed what I'm making right now? You've probably never seen anything like this concoction. May not ever see it again, I don't know. But like I said, just kind of mix it up with your shredded cabbage and your cooked onions. We just want to get that corned beef warm. It doesn't have to be cooked. It just needs to be warmed up. And that cabbage is probably already hot enough to warm it up. I'm going to turn that on low just to keep it hot. Now what we're going to do is prepare our cheese and our we're going to start toasting our tortillas for a melt your butter in your pan. You don't want a lot in there. You don't want your tortilla soggy, but we do want to toast it a little bit. Toasted ones are always better than, they work so much better when you toast them. And see, I'm just going to get a little bit of that butter on each side. And then I'm going to put it right there and let it toast. Turn that up a little bit because my pan is not quite real hot. And where my cheese comes in, I'll show you as soon as I can get this one side toasted. This is a 10-inch cast iron skillet, if y'all are wondering. I just happen to remember I've got a bigger skillet that I could have used, and I just happened to think of it. I've got one that's 12 inches, and I bet the full-size tortilla would have worked in that. Maybe for the next recipe. But this recipe, you know, this amount is only for 4 of them, of 10-inch ones. Let them toast. And it starts bubbling it up when they're toasting, when it starts to toast. Probably got a little bit too much butter in there. It makes them better with butter. flip it over. And now's when we're going to start putting our cheese in. And we're just going to put the cheese on 1/2. So it might take 2 slices of cheese to cover 1/2 of it. And then we're going to put in about 1/4 of our cabbage and corned beef mixture on 1/2 of the tortilla shell, right on top of your cheese. Now remember, we're making 4 of these, so don't put it all in the first one. And now we're going to flip that over. Oh, and turn the heat down. I'm about to burn everything up today, y'all. I just turned my heat off because I don't want to burn it up. Turn it back on a little bit. I just want it hot enough to where it's going to toast. It was getting too hot in the middle. Get one of my wide spatulas here. May need 2 of them. Flipped it over. Not quite burnt yet, but it was getting there. And you just cook it until your tortilla is toasted. And it is toasted. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because that is your end results. And I've got 3 more to make. But I wanted to show you the end results. Now usually you cut them in thirds. There, they're cut in thirds. And they're way too hot to eat. But now's where your dipping sauce comes in. Yeah, I'm going to make all of them, and I'm just going to store them in the refrigerator till I get ready to eat them. I don't know if I can pick any of these up. They're too hot. I tell you what I'll do. I'll cut the end off of one of them because it's too hot for me to pick it up with my hands, y'all. But it's toasted on both sides of the tortilla. I got that cheese all melted and runny. I'm going to dip it in that little bit of sauce. And y'all take a bite. There is my cabbage and roast beef cheesy tortillas. Or costadas. Put it that way. Mmm. That is good. Mmm. Yes, corned beef and cabbage cheese costadas, and they are so good. Mmm. And it's okay if they're too hot to pick up with your hand. Just cut them with a fork. Eat them with a fork. Eat them with a fork. You got my permission. Get some of that sauce on there. Oh my goodness, I just dropped it in my sauce. Ah. Y'all, it's really good. Mmm. If you like costadas and you like cabbage and corned beef, you're going to love these. And that sauce is just the icing on the cake. Look at that. Take a bite. Cabbage and corned beef, cheese, costadas. Mmm. Mmm. I'm going to sit down here and eat. And then I'll fix the rest of them. Because I don't want mine to get cold. Love y'all. I hope you like this recipe. Try it. If you like corned beef and cabbage, you'll love these. Y'all, let's set the record straight. I was told that the correct way to pronounce this is quesadilla. Okay? I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what I was told. Quesadilla. So if it's wrong, whoever told me that was wrong, okay? I'm not Mexican. I'm not Spanish. So I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these Mexican dishes. So it's quesadilla. Corned beef and cabbage, cheesy quesadilla. There you go. Enjoy, y'all.